I've chosen 7 pairs of songs that share the exact same title. I'll give a short breakdown for each track, rate them out of 10, then decide which same name song is better. Alright, matchup number 1. I went with Heartless, and for my 2 contenders, I chose Heartless by Kanye and Heartless by The Weeknd. So yeah, first up, Heartless by Kanye. It's one of, if not his biggest track to date. It's the 3rd song off 808s and Heartbreak, released in 2008. The album is well known for its influential nature, largely due to Kanye's heavy use of autotune. And Heartless is just a perfect example of this style, creating a fusion of pop and rap. Essentially, it's an anthem about heartbreak. It's super iconic, catchy, replayable, and memorable, which is why it remains a fan favorite. And while I do find it very enjoyable, I don't see it as being quite as groundbreaking or impressive as many other people do. I don't dislike it by any means, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't stand out as especially unique or special to me. Overall, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. It's a good song. But moving on to Heartless by The Weeknd, released in 2020, it's the 7th track off of After Hours, and it features a very simple trap-inspired beat. The production is clean, basic, but effective. It provides plenty of room for The Weeknd to almost sing and rap at the same time without undermining his vocals. And speaking of the vocals, they're fantastic. It's The Weeknd, what do you expect? He has one of the best voices in modern mainstream music, and he puts that on full display with this track. Lyrically, it's nothing too great, but it's completely different from the Kanye one. Instead, he's actually calling himself heartless and explaining why he thinks so. Sometimes it comes off a little strong, but for the most part, it's fine. And yeah, another 7 out of 10 for this one. Overall, between these 2 good songs, I'd slightly give the edge to Heartless by The Weeknd, mainly because his vocal performance and delivery stood out more to me. Alright, bet. Next round, we have All I Need versus All I Need, Jay-Z versus Radiohead. First up, All I Need by Jay-Z, 11th track off The Blueprint, released in 2001, actually released on 9/11, and it's a great example of Jay-Z in his calm, confident prime. The beat is produced by Bink, and it samples Natalie Cole's I Can't Break Away From You, flipping her soulful vocals into something minimal and smooth, giving Jay-Z just enough space to rap, and he sounds completely in control the entire time. Lyrically, it's just about loyalty, success, nothing too flashy, but it's just his sharp writing and effortless delivery that really makes it so good. It's a classic rap cut that gets better the more you listen to it, so an easy 10 out of 10 for me. And yeah, moving on to All I Need by this really underground, unknown group called Radiohead. You probably haven't heard of them. Actually, you definitely haven't. Anyway, it was released in 2007. It's the 5th track off of In Rainbows, an album you definitely haven't heard because it's very underground, and it takes a much more emotional and atmospheric approach. The song has this low, pulsing bass line that gives the track a claustrophobic feel, slowly adding and adding layers as it builds and builds tension. Tom York's vocals sound incredibly desperate, perfectly matching the lyrics, which are about obsession and emotional dependence. Lines like, I'm an animal trapped in your hot car, and I'm a moth who just wants to share your light, do such a great job of painting this reliant, depressing picture. The track doesn't hit its chaotic peak until the very end, though. It's so haunting, immersive, and emotionally devastating in the best way possible. Another undeniable 10 out of 10 track. Wow, overall, this one is honestly a lot harder than the last one. 2 practically perfect tracks, both mastering their own art, but I'd ever so slightly give the edge to All I Need by Radiohead. Jay-Z delivers a flawless classic hip-hop track, but Radiohead's emotional weight and atmosphere just hit a tiny bit harder for me. Matchup number 3, I went with the title Angels, which is kind of fucking cool because they're both spelled with a Z at the end, which is kind of crazy to me. But yeah, there's Angels by MF Doom and Angels by Denzel Curry. Starting with the Doom track, Angels is from Born Like This, and the track ends up being like some sort of short crime episode, but in rap form. It's split between Ghostface Killah and Doom, two literally perfect rappers, with the story actually being told in reverse. Ghostface delivers the first verse, and he talks about the chaotic ending first, and then Doom rewinds to show how everything happened and led up to it. Ghost's verse is loud and cinematic, but Doom's is way calmer and more detailed, which almost lets the listener piece the story together by themselves. I don't know, I love that, and the structure is why this song is really so special to me. Doom almost turns the track into some sort of puzzle, using these TV samples, character roles, and his villain persona, making it feel more like an actual story rather than just a song. It's super clever and one of Doom's most impressive narrative cuts. I'm going with a strong 9 out of 10 with this one. Bet. Moving on to Angels by Denzel Curry, the 10th track off of Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, and this song is much more introspective and grounded than the Doom track. Over a calm, smooth bass line and a beautiful, minimal piano, Denzel is just reflecting on validation, betrayal, faith, and his own self-worth. His delivery feels very controlled, allowing the lyrics to take the stage over anything. Lines about loyalty, morality, and living by this code makes it feel so deeply personal, like he's laying his worldview out in front of us in real time. The hook was done by Bridget Perez, and it's phenomenal. It adds this spiritual atmosphere, so it's serious, mature, and extremely emotionally honest, fitting perfectly within the themes of the album. And yeah, this one is another 9 out of 10. Overall, both tracks are great, but Doom is my favorite rapper of all time, come on, so it may be surprising that I actually give the win to Denzel Curry. I just prefer the more serious tone, emotional weight, and self-reflection on this one. I don't know, I could go either way, but yeah. Round 4, Changes. I went with Changes by David Bowie, and then Changes by Tupac Shakur. And first up, let's start with the David Bowie track. From Hunky Dory, the intro, the song is kind of like David Bowie openly narrating his own confusion, his own insecurity, and his constant need for reinvention. He questions what he's been waiting for his whole life, and he also literally turns to face himself. The lyrics are deeply self-aware, yet there's this bright, piano-led melody that keeps everything still somehow being playful rather than just simply depressing. And the chorus, Turn and Face the Strange, isn't just iconic, although it's basically Bowie's entire artistic philosophy summed up in just one line. He even takes a moment to call out older generations for hating on the youngins for trying to change the world, which gives this song the social edge. It's reflective, it's rebellious, it's timeless, and it's effortlessly catchy. Let's be honest, I can't give this anything besides a 10. And next up, we got Changes by Pac, actually released in 1998 on his Greatest Hits record, and from the opening line, I see no changes, you can tell that this is about to be some real ass shit. Pac lays out the brutally honest look at racism, poverty, police brutality, and systemic oppression, all from his own lived experience, rather than just some observer. The track also samples the piano riff and chorus from Bruce Hornsby and the Range's 1986 hit The Way It Is, but the vocals are redone by Talent, making it like an R&B rap mix. It gives it a somber, reflective tone that perfectly matches the weight of what he's trying to convey. It's so raw, it's political, it's emotional, and it's unfortunately still painfully relevant to this day. Another undeniable 10 out of 10. Overall, alright bro, this one's stupidly close. Why do I even have to choose? David Bowie frames change as this personal growth, while Tupac treats it as an urgent necessity in order to survive. And as timeless as Bowie's message is, I gotta go with Tupac on this one. The raw honesty, the social impact, and the relevance just makes it a little more important to me. For the fifth matchup, I went with the title One, and for my two contenders, I chose One by Metallica and One by Ghostface Killah. Starting off with the Metallica track, it's from And Justice for All, released in 1988, and this song is straight up horrifying. It is about a soldier who survives a literal landmine explosion and pretty much loses his entire body. He loses his arms, his legs, his sight, his speech. Poor fucking dude, he lost everything.
Really?
The lyrics slowly make you realize how bad the situation truly is, with the full weight of it sinking in more and more as the song goes on over its 7-minute span. The structure makes it even worse, or, well, better. Worse for the guy in the story, but better as a song. It starts off quiet and steady before turning into one of the most aggressive, emotionally unhinged endings Metallica has ever put out. It's not just heavy because it's loud, it's heavy because it's genuinely disturbing to think about. And I'm 100% feeling a 10 out of 10 on this one. Moving on to One by Ghostface Killah, it's my favorite track from him ever, and also just one of my favorite rap songs of the 2000s. It's a beast of a track. He's kind of just talking about everything that's happening to him while he's in the hood. Even ravioli, yes, ravioli, that shit sounds so good right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm hungry. But yeah, he's going from story to story without any real reason to do so, but that chaotic feel just works. It's like you're sat down right next to Ghostface as he rambles on and on about his crazy week that he's had. And that's not even mentioning the production. It's fantastic. It's so simple, yet a hard-hitting beat. The soulful piano loop is to die for, paired with those gritty, perfected drums. It's just too good. I gotta go with a 10 out of 10 again here. And now, this matchup is horrible. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, because no matter what I choose, I'm leaving out one of my favorite songs. And I'm sorry, Metallica, but I'm choosing your song. One by Metallica is slightly better to me, and to be honest, it's just because it's a longer song. There's just more song to love because it's longer, so it wins by default here. Round 6, and this one is going to be impossible. Get it? Because the matchup is going to be difficult, but that's also the names of the songs that are going to be. Impossible by Travis Scott versus Impossible by the Wu-Tang Clan. Starting off with Mr. Travis here. Impossible is from Rodeo, released in 2015, and this is Travis at his most vulnerable and worn down. The whole song is about being stuck, thinking about one person who knows you better than anyone else, but they still treat you like shit. I mean, the hook says it all.
I wish I can do the impossible.
Because he knows that deep down, he cannot do anything to fix it, even if he really, really wants to. The production is so dark and spacey, which makes everything feel heavier and more personal and almost creepy. It's not loud or hype like a lot of his songs are, it's just emotionally drained in a way that feels very real. So, I'm willing to give this one a 10. But is it better than the Wu-Tang track? Impossible by the Wu-Tang Clan is from Wu-Tang Forever, released in 1997, and the song is heavy in a way that just sits on your chest. RZA and U-God sound paranoid as hell, talking about the world falling apart, about them being watched, and there being corruption all over the place. Then when Ghostface pops in, he completely flips the shit around. His verse feels like you accidentally walked into the worst moment of someone's life possible. It's pure panic, it's chaos, and it's grief. It's uncomfortable, but in the best way possible. I guess I just adore the dark, messy, and unforgettable atmosphere of this one. So I'll give this like an 8 to 9 out of 10. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah, that kind of ruins the suspense. I mean, I'm obviously going with the Travis Scott one because I gave it a higher rating. But yeah, both are great. I just prefer the production that Tractor Scott brought on this one more. Last, but certainly not least, I went with the name One More Chance, and for the two contenders, there's One More Chance by Biggie versus One More Chance by Michael Jackson. Starting with the Biggie track, One More Chance is the 7th song off Ready to Die, released in 1994, and considered by many to be one of the greatest rap records of all time. This is an interesting song because it's mainly just Biggie flexing at how good he is sexually. He's good with the ladies, I guess. I really like how the chorus interpolates the classic Jackson 5 track, I Want You Back, where they say, ooh, baby, give me one more chance. But instead, this one says, ooh, Biggie, give me one more chance. It's clever, and it works really well within the context of the track. His flows are flawless throughout the song. He's got a lot of those smart, witty bars that'll make you crack a slight smile as you hear them. It's just fun all over. It's a strong 8 out of 10 track for me. And it's up against One More Chance by MJ, which was actually the final brand new single released during his lifetime, and it's just a track off his compilation album from 2003, but it's surprisingly strong. It's got these gorgeous, wonderful strings and delicately layered vocals, all of which just amplify Jackson's message of the song. It's a regretful, desperate plea for just one more chance with the person that he loves. It's super catchy and memorable, and I think if it were on an actual album, it would have gotten a lot more popular than it is, but it's forgotten about because it was just slapped onto the compilation album. Also, it's the only song on the album that was new. Every other track is just an older song that was thrown together in this compilation. Whatever. With that being said, it's like a strong 9 for this one. Yeah, overall. So I gave the MJ one a higher score. That means it wins. That's how the video works. I'm just done now. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. Comment snowman if you made it here, and have an amazing holiday season. Goodbye.